if I'm a OG, right, and we all work different, and I see that young is that. I know that he's more in tune with the culture right now. Everything around the board. He young, he got me beat everywhere around the board. That young gotta come take my job. I can't put that young in position to get me out the way, and now I'm running around, can't feed my family. I
think it's too much money out here for all of us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's only a certain amount of positions that's right there.
Now you're right.
What I'm saying.
You're right.
You feel what I'm saying?
You're right though, but at the same time, it's like, when are we gonna shift from the individual mindset to the collective one? You know what I'm saying? Because what you just said is, that go deeper than rap. That's just how we are as a culture, as people. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's all me and mine, and it's like, it's not enough of the collective idea of us. Like, where do we want to see this shit go in 20 years? Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, and even still, it's like, just because you share your light or you shine your light on somebody else who's coming up and who might be more hungry, that don't mean that you necessarily you compromise your position. No, you know what I mean? I think that's just been the historical approach.
The Trevor Jackson Podcast.
You know I got an impactful show for y'all today, man. If you heard thank you, man, you're far too kind, most definitely. But before we even get into the episode, that clip that I played with Joey Badass speaking to Wallow and Gillie, I want to give Joey Badass some hand claps. Because if they're $1 million worth of game, I perceive what Joey said to them is $1 billion worth of game. At the end of the day, you got to watch people's words. The people that surround you, your friends, even family members. You got to watch their words, because their words let you know what their intentions are for you. This week when I was curating this podcast, I had been gone for a while. I know I did a couple of reactions and album reactions and stuff though, but I was noticing in the landscape, like, of culture, of trending topics, of media, sports, hip hop, just everything in totality that people gravitate towards that is a part of our culture. It seems to me as if people are tearing each other down. People are doing whatever it takes so they can trigger that algorithm to get those views and likes and make that internet money. I seen Shannon Sharpe get fired. I seen people taking shots at him. I knew it was coming. Pause. But I knew it was coming because that's Disney. We're going to get into it. That's going to be the first topic of discussion on this podcast. I seen Cam Newton and Gillie going at each other. Cam shooting down Jalen Hurts. I seen Will.I.Am speaking on Jay-Z. And he said that Black Thought was 1 trillion times better than Jay-Z. I seen Gilbert Arenas and a multitude of individuals talking about that. I listened to the Futuristic Summer album Metro Boomin just released, and people was talking crazy about that, saying we don't want that vintage music with those fake instrumentation songs in it no more. So I was just looking at the culture. I said the culture is fractured, man. They need somebody to be objective and talk positively about these things and talk about the culture. And that's me. I'm not getting ready to get on here and talk crazy to trigger the algorithm and get some views and likes and try to get the trending and say some foolishness that I know is foolishness, but I'm going to do it so I can get some money. But before we get into the podcast, man, I got a couple of songs I want to play. I do my shows for the people that's working out, for the people that's driving 18-wheelers that listen to my show, man. Salute to y'all. For the people that's in their cars trying to get through their 8-hour shift and they need an hour and a half or 2 hours of a conversation, man, I'm here for y'all. I appreciate y'all, man. If you hit the like button, you subscribe to the channel, you new to the channel, man, thank you for tuning in to me. But before we get into the conversation, I want to play a record that was released, and I think that it's fly. I think it has the capabilities of being a record of the summer. Let's get right to it, though, man.
done ran out of options. Can't keep fantasizing. I'm calling you so we can lock in, but you call me toxic. You make it easy for me to believe in your love. You better believe it, cause baby I'm leaving with something. It's better than the dick you had before. Smiling cause you know I know you know how. You better still, I treat you well, I will. It's good, I can tell, come give me hell, come here. Your fairy tale, under your spell I am. She gets Chanel, oh well it all depends. You screaming yeah, can't come for help, I'm here. You leaving well, cause I feel your nails for real. I hit you good, you're sleeping good for real. I freak you out, I freak you out, I will.
I'll fuck you right, I will. I'll fuck you right, I will. I'll fuck you like no one has ever made you feel. I'll fuck you right, I will. I'll freak you right, I will. I'll freak you like no one has ever made you feel, yeah.
Shawty wanna come find out what's good with me. Well, girl, it all depends on what you need at night. Hey, what you wanna do? I heard he let you go free at night. But don't you go love me, I don't spine. Hey, I don't wanna send the wrong signs, but I can read your mind. Leave you alone, you're all mine. You're all mine. Tell me if now is the wrong time. I need a long time. I need a long time. I need a long time. Girl, I'll be your best.
Salute to Bryson Tiller and Chris Brown. I feel like that's a hit record, man. Go check out Chris Brown's new single, It Depends. Dope song. I want to be able to curate the podcast in a way where I'm telling y'all the topics before we get into it. You know, it's certain things that I didn't address through the week, and I feel like I'm going to stop doing that. You know, creating content on a daily basis, because when you take your time on things, a lot of people want to trigger the algorithm and be able to speak about things immediately as it happens. But if you take your time with things and be able to give a perspective after you done lived with it for a while, I ain't in no rush, man. I ain't competing with nobody. You know, I ain't in no rush to be able to get no views and all of that old type of stuff. So why I'm saying that is because the father that told on his son, Queso, the rapper, that's interesting to me coming from a previous street background. I've talked about snitching in the streets a multitude of times on this podcast and said that it's dead. And it's going to always, it's never coming back, man. That street life stuff is never coming back. It's over. I apologize. Gang culture is over. It's nothing beneficial about it. You're either going to die or go to jail. That's all it is to it. But I want to speak about the morality and the integrity piece when we get to that topic during the show. Another conversation I want to have is, you know, on Cam Newton podcast, man, when he had Ray J on there, man, Ray J looked like he needs some help. He's saying things that's out of control. The gay mafia, that LGBTQ behavior, he's making it like something that is, he's trying to create a virality moment from it by speaking on it and saying he ain't gay and this and that. He want to take showers with niggas on streams and stuff. Ray J need help. That's what it looked like. And ain't nobody helping him. People using him so they can get their stuff popping. I can see it, man. It's just sad when you see people being used. Okay, the Rick Ross situation too, we're going to talk about that. Him talking about 50 Cent's son and Benzino dropping a new record at 60 years old. I got to get on that pause and play that play that record, man. We're going to create content from that and chop it up about that, though. But I got one more record I want to play. I want to talk about this album a little bit also because I seen what people were saying. But the futuristic summer, you know, Metro Boomin, I have a perception of production and producers. 2023 year, that was Hit Boy year. 2024 year, that was Metro Boomin year. When he did the multitude of albums with Future, you know, he dropped 3 albums with Future. He ignited the beef. He was in the beef with Drake or whatever, but his production and his music was flawless. So he dropped this album this year in 2025. And so far this year to me is Alchemist year for getting the production of the year, the producer of the year award in hip hop. It's Alchemist year. So he dropped this album and it has a vintage Atlanta sound. People say they don't like this sound, but I'm from this area, the southeastern area. I'm from Tennessee. I currently live in Charlotte. I visit Atlanta a lot. So I understand this feeling. Hip hop has been in a place where people are beefing or people are making music based upon depression. So when I heard this, it made me excited. And then I started reaching out to people telling them, check this out, man. Check this out. This album is flawless, man. This is a dope album. People were saying, we don't like this. I ain't rocking with this. This is lame as hell. I don't, being from the South, riding in them Chevys. And I remember when OJ the Juice Man came out with the stupid fruity flavor, swag and all of that. We created that swag sound, that futuristic sound, that, the drip and all of that. The lingo that people are using all comes from the Southeast. Cap and all of that old type of stuff. It comes from the Southeast. So when I seen this futuristic song, I was like, he paying ode to J Money. J Money didn't get his due. It's a few individuals that might be watching this podcast that don't know who J Money is, but I'm going to introduce you to him. Mr. Futuristic. J Money, LA put his name in one of his songs on Ain't I, that song he did with T.I. and Young Dro. But J Money is a hell of an artist, and this
JT, my son.
This album was paying homage to J Money. And when I listened to the records, I said, oh man, flawless. Let's go. Let's get into the record.
I go, you feel what I'm saying? I go like South, I go drip, I go Metro Booming Way, I go BC, I go South God.
Walking back road, racks on sight, pad touchdown, pad take flight. I go Rollie, I go AP, I go house up on my wrist. I go VV, I go GG, double CC, my little shit. Stack the money tall, this is how we play. Metro J, Rack City. I go Will.I.Am, I go Rory, double I go Richie Rich. I go Choo, I go Lulu, I go Salt, that's how we kick. I go left, not right, beat up the track like Ike. Go Billy Jean like Mike, 100K racks on sight. Stylin' like a stylin', bitch, I'm coolin' like a island. All work, no play, trap or die, my money pile. I go AP Rick, I go MJ Switch, I go 5K Fit, CC my little shit. J Money Metro, yeah, we still the show. Magic City money, yeah, you got to know. Walking back road, racks on sight, pad touchdown, pad take flight. I go Rollie, I go AP, I go house up on my wrist. I go VV, I go GG, double CC, my little shit. Stack the money tall, this is how we play. Metro J, Rack City. I go Will.I.Am, I go Rory, double I go Richie Rich. I go Choo, I go Lulu, I go Salt, that's how we kick. I go South, sober, swag, play forever though. Got the remedy, the sauce, I got the antidote. Pack still at the slide, but yeah, you got to know. Time to change the whole game, J and Metro. Karate, how we kick. Popcorn, it's so flick. Now can't do it like this. Tag, bit, we it. We bout, no NBA above the rim. I go motion, I go work, jumping out the gym. Walking back road, racks on sight, pad touchdown, pad take flight. I go Rollie, I go AP, I go house up on my wrist. I go VV, I go GG, double CC, my little shit. Stack the money tall, this is how we play. Metro J, Rack City. I go Will.I.Am, I go Rory, double I go Richie Rich. I go Choo, I go Lulu, I go Salt, that's how we kick.
One thing I can do and salute Atlanta for is that they always been a city and a culture that sticks together. Salute to J Money though, but it was people on the Futuristic Swag project that I really appreciate hearing from him again. Young Dro, he did a phenomenal job on the album. I feel like his artistry is underrated and his rhyme patterns and schemes and style is something that should be celebrated. It was nice hearing Rocco again. At first when I heard Rocco, I thought it was somebody else. I thought it was my boy Young Ralph. the one who made the song, the Money Maker song, and it was Rocco, and Rocco had a statement that he said on there that tripped me out, man. He said that men are dating women's bodies and women are dating niggas' pockets. That was interesting to hear him say that, though, man. But those are the two records that I wanted to highlight this week that I have been checking out, man. And 2 albums. I'm looking forward to Chris Brown's new album and the Futuristic Summer album. It got some dope tracks, some dope features on it. And I suggest that y'all check it out, though, man. But let's get on into the conversation, man. Shannon Sharpe was fired this week by ESPN, and then he had this to say. And we're going to chop it up about this.
I'm sure everybody's heard the news by now that I will not be returning to ESPN. I found out this information a little earlier in the week. And really, the only thing that I really ask is, like, guys, could we wait until Monday? My brother's going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I really wanted it to be about him, and I wanted it to be about my family. I know this coming out will overshadow everything that he's worked his entire life for. And unfortunately, it didn't happen that way. And so as I told him, as I profusely apologized to him earlier today, he said, bro, stop apologizing. You don't have to apologize. I'm your big bro. I'm going to love you regardless. We all make mistakes. And he says, bro, I love you. So I'm done with this. You're done with it too. Move on. And I really enjoyed my time at ESPN. It gave me an opportunity to bring my audience that saw me really just grow. They saw me, Lakers in 5, and they saw me say all these analogies that my grandparents gave me, and I was able to bring that to ESPN. So I'm very, very grateful for that. But I just wished, of all things, like I said, hey, they did what they felt they needed to do, and I'm at peace with that. But I just wish, guys, this thing could have waited until Monday, because I hate the fact that I'm overshadowing my brother, the first 2 brothers in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And this is what the headline's going to be for the next couple of days. So, bro, again, I know you told me that I don't have to apologize, but I'm going to do it one final time tonight, and I won't apologize again. I'm sorry that I upstaged you in this manner. That was never my intent. You've been my hero. You've been my role model from as long as I can remember. And I apologize, and I thank all my fans for supporting me when I was at ESPN and every place that I've been, be it Club Shay Shay, Nightcap, Undisputed, ESPN. Thank you guys for your support.
You know what's interesting about that whole conversation and that whole clip is that, when you work at a company or whatever, they don't really care about you. I can't imagine like being on the type of high that he was on after the Cat Williams interview and seeing Stephen A get $100 million. Stephen A had got $100 million in his face this year. And Shannon Sharpe knew he was hotter. The people was gravitating to his channel, Nightcap, Club Shay Shay, more than people was gravitating to Stephen A and his individual YouTube. So to me, Stephen A getting $100 million earlier this year, Shannon Sharpe trajectory looked like it was $250 million. He was getting $6 million, man. It was only on First Take on Mondays. He wasn't even doing the show five days a week. It's just, when you think about a person like Shannon Sharpe, he got to be the problem. Undisputed. When he was at Undisputed, it was a lot of things going on. Everybody perceived that Skip was the problem. And Skip had some things about him that people felt disgruntled about, and some things that he said. I remember he told Shannon Sharpe, take your glasses off. Or put your glasses back on, or something like that. He said to him that was kind of disrespectful. And he did what he told him to do. And he got fired from there. He got fired from ESPN. Obviously, you the problem. We played the clip a couple of weeks ago where he said he wouldn't spend more than $30,000 on his daughter's wedding. But now you owe this Becky $20 million because you can't control your hormones and you horny. This is, interesting, man. And this is something that I feel like younger individuals need to take heed to, be able to control your feelings, be able to control your emotions, be able to control your sexual urges, so you won't build an empire and lose it all because you can't control your sexual urges. It's just interesting, man, to be honest with you. He was on a high after that Cat Williams interview. He made $6 million off of one interview. You know, Cat Williams also told him during that interview that you got to be careful, man. You got to protect yourself. And he talking about he like young girls and stuff like that, man. This was destined to happen. He couldn't control his horny, man. And also, you know, his brother had just got inducted into the Hall of Fame, as he said on that clip. And now another lawsuit is broken out. I haven't even did my research on what this lawsuit is. So while I'm doing my research, I'm going to read it to y'all. This is according to thesun.com. And I'm going to read, he's being sued for another $20 million for this behavior that he has been conducting. One thing I want to say before I read it, though, is that I have done podcasts with a lot of people, and I appreciate every last person I've collaborated with, and I've done shows with, you know, my cousins and my nephew, the Jackson Boys, the Two Brothers podcast. I've collaborated with Judge Joe Brown, did shows with Spice One. Me and my dog Rob collaborated a lot. Salute to Florida boy Jay and J Doug, them boys out of Jacksonville. Salute to all of y'all, man. But one thing I realized is that, you know, during this time of the culture or whatever, and how people are speaking maliciously to get views and likes and wanting to do viral content, it's in my best interest to do my shows alone. The reason I say that is because, like, doing them alone, I can control the conversation. Pre-recording the shows instead of doing it live, I can control the conversation. This ain't worth me getting into a lawsuit over speaking maliciously and having malicious intent, and always having to say alleged and all that old dumb shit to get a lawsuit, defaming somebody's character, you know, speaking reckless disregard of the truth. I don't need none of that, man. I don't need none of that to be knocking on my doorstep or in my mailbox. Real talk. So let's read this article from thesun.com about Shannon Sharpe. It says Shannon Sharpe is being sued for $20 million after the former ESPN star shamed a woman over a viral flirty video with Usher and wrongly alleged her husband left her over the incident. In court documents exclusively obtained by The Sun, the woman, I can't pronounce her name, Jamalita Tillman, is suing Sharpe, as well as his nightcap co-host Chad Ochocinco Johnson. Let me stop. That's the reason. Look, Ocho didn't have nothing to do with that. Now he's being sued because of some things that Sharpe said and some things that Sharpe participated in. That's why, like, collaborating and doing shows with people, you got to be careful about people that don't speak objectively and don't speak to the topic, and they speak at people. They speak disrespect to people. You can be getting caught up in a lawsuit because you standing beside your dog or your man or whatever, or your partner. I don't want to be sued because I'm rocking with you. That's just not who I am. And the podcast production company Shay Shay Media. So the woman claims the host knowingly propagated a false narrative about her marital status in court papers. Sharpe, 57, just settled a $50 million lawsuit with a woman who accused him of rape, and he was officially let go from his ESPN job on Wednesday. In Tillman's complaint, she explained on April 2nd, 2025, I participated in fan engagement moment at a Usher Raymond concert where I interacted with the artist as a selected audience member. The interaction quickly went viral after fans noticed the intensity between Tillman and Usher in the fun moment. Following this event, the defendants made a decimated, false, and defamatory statement suggesting that I was married and that my husband was filing for divorce due to the participation in the audience experience. I am not married, nor am I currently going through a divorce. She went on to explain I was not married at the time of the fan participation moment during the Usher concert. The defendants' false narratives were shared widely across their platforms, reaching millions of followers. Viral spread and refutation efforts. Despite my clear and public reputation of the false narrative, the woman, who is a global director for Harold Washington Cultural Center, said she even went on national media shows to refute the allegations from the ESPN First Take star that she was a married woman. You know, I'm done reading that article. It's more to it. Y'all can go to the ussun.com and check out the article. But what's crazy about that is that you got to be careful on these platforms. You got to be careful who you collaborate with, because at the end of the day, the very end of the day, people that you affiliate with can get you caught up in allegations and lawsuits and speaking maliciously towards others to create content, to get views and likes, to entertain others, to tap into their conversation and get you caught up in some bullshit, man. Real talk. At the end of the day, Shannon Sharpe, I want to say, I feel like you can bounce back. You paid this Becky what you made your entire NFL career. You retired the OnlyFans girl. You've probably made more money throughout your media career than you did your NFL career. But everything you did to make it to the NFL and make that money, you paid that woman in one incident. Man, folks got to learn how to control the horny, man. Real talk. That's just all I want to say in closing at the end of the day on this. We get ready to get into some foolishness, though. We get ready to switch up the topic. I want to talk about Benzino, 50 Cent, and Rick Ross. You know, as of recently, 50 Cent's baby mama was in court. I think her name is Daphne or something like that. She was in court during the Diddy trial. And when she was in court, it was information in the case that she was selling herself for $10,000 a month. That's public record. That's not an assumption from me. That's public court documents, and it was said in court. So I want to speak legality and be right in the words that I say, because I don't want to get in trouble like Shannon Sharpe. 50 Cent now has a way that people can come at him aggressively. And they got, content to be able to do it because of who he chose to create a life with. You have to be careful who you choose to create a life with. That's all I'm saying. So with that being said, Benzino and Rick Ross came at him this week, but he initiated the beef. He initiated the energy. 50 did. And I rock with all of these individuals on a business standpoint. Rick Ross is a very successful individual in the things that he does with the car shows, with the wing stops, with the alcohol and all of that, and being able to collaborate with a multitude of people. 50 Cent is successful in his own right with the movies and the TV shows and stuff like that. Benzino was at one point a person that had the Source Awards, the Source magazine. So salute to all three of these individuals. And me, I don't speak maliciously towards anyone. But Benzino, 60 years old, just recently released a record, and 50 Cent had this to say about the record.
Rich shit, fucking with my blood, about to rip shit, clip shit. I'm with 60 niggas on my neck shit. Honey bun, drop 100 band on my wrist shit. 100 drum, spin the window stick, go for clip shit. Flip stick, wave it like a fan, about to lip shit. Misfit, on my wire, envy on some kill shit. Drill shit, like I'm in the rack on some pill shit. Demon time, geeked up in this bitch, they don't feel shit. I'm married to streets, only matrimony. A lot of these niggas ain't having money. I'm rocking these carriages just like a...
I agree with what 50 Cent said, man. That record was awful. You 60 promoting gang violence and street culture and talking reckless like that. I agree with 50 on that aspect. You could do better, Benzino. You really can do better than just what you just released. But when 50 Cent put up the post of the record, you know, and said what he said about the record and how he felt about Benzino still rapping at 60, you know, your vocabulary haven't got any better since, you know, all of these 60 years. You couldn't do better than that, dog. No disrespect. Keep creating, keep being an artist, but that was horrific, nigga.
What you should be doing, Kurt, is explaining to little Bruce Leroy while Sleeves and Diddy and a bunch of niggas was slutting a rap. I think you're gonna have to owe him an explanation when he gets older. Don't act like we ain't see you on the beach with your Bugs Bunny teeth, like with the camera taking pictures. Yeah, you was in your feelings, huh? Nah, Curtis, it's not a good look. But I tell you what, though. The boxing challenge still there, Curtis, for the celebrity. I'm down to make a couple of M's. I'll go 3 rounds with your goofy ass. That's number 1. Number 2, why don't you see if you could put out a song better than Y and Z? And a video better than that. That's just my mic drop video. I'm finna shoot the real video. I get it. 60-year-old man got motion, huh? Yeah, I get it. I understand. You got a lot of the people you influence, a lot of grown men on there mad, huh? Yeah, they mad. Let's see if some of y'all niggas could do this. Let's see if some of y'all could do this, though. Let's see niggas under my post. Let's see if some of y'all niggas could do that, though. Huh? All you men that want to post under men. Let's see if some of y'all could do that. Curtis, you always been like a hooter type nigga. You really could never dress. Your hairline, your head's this big, your hairline's right here. You gotta keep wearing the fitted. Word on the street is that you be coming up short, Kurt. Yeah. Yeah, that's why Jane transitioned. She transitioned to bad boy, yeah. Yeah.
You know, the culture gotta stop. You know, the culture gotta stop. I see Dame Dash, you know, being interviewed as of recently. And salute to Dame Dash because he had some profound things to say, but men gotta stop. You know, women looking at this, man. And they like, y'all niggas on the internet still talking tea. Y'all talking tea and discussing each other more than women are discussing each other. It's getting sad. It's getting to a point niggas on there showing biceps and muscles talking about health. He do look good physically, pause, to be a 60-year-old man. He's in the gym, working out, doing his thing or whatever though, but niggas gotta stop. Talking about 50 coming up short and that's why she over Diddy house and that's why, you know, he was mentioning Stevie J also. He just said another name. I forgot the name that he was mentioning, saying that she was over there getting worked out by them boys. That's why she left you. She left because she was interested into the bag, not the men. These women don't be caring about y'all, man. Benzino, it's you know, you and 50, y'all gotta stop. 50 just turned 50, you 60. As you get older, you should want more peace in your life. Niggas gonna be beat. I swear I better not see no 70-year-old niggas creating content trying to get views and likes on the internet talking about each other. In this culture, it's a fractured culture like I got up under my name. Real talk. But you know, 50 Cent calls all of these things on himself. He always be winning beefs and he killed the career. Yeah, but even though Ja Rule has been making a bounce back a little bit, if you see he's doing sold out shows, I said sold out shows in New Jersey, sold out shows all over the place. Him and Nelly's on tour together right now. And he's kind of coming back musically. Ja Rule always made good music, but 50 Cent fractured his career for a significant amount of time. Now, one person whose career he didn't fracture was Rick Ross, even though he used Rick Ross' baby mama against him. He was with Rick Ross' son at Floyd Mayweather's house, if y'all remember the video, because I remember it. I was, at that time, I think it was like 2007, 2006, 2007, when he was doing the Pimp and Curly series. And he was with Rick Ross' children at Floyd Mayweather's house. I was like, God. And his baby mama. So now things are coming back to haunt him. You know, Rick Ross recently made a post talking about his son. And he named his son Bruce Leroy.
Someone in my DM say, is that what you and 50 Cent doing? Are y'all battle rapping? Is it beef, real beef? Well, I'm going to say this. Beef, it could be complicated, but I done took 50 Cent youngest son, Bruce Leroy, a.k.a. what? I done took him fishing before. And he loved when I do the what noise. You know, I used to see him all the time over there. But I guess one day his mom may have been creating content on Star Island somewhere, and he was walking around on his second lap. I invited him to the back of my crib. I put bread on a fishing pole, cast it. I watched Bruce Leroy catch his first Dover sole. Man, I felt proud. What? Little man, what's up, though?
You know, some people may not look at this as disrespect, but I view this as disrespect. As a father, and I don't have kids, I want to announce that early. I don't have kids, but what's crazy about this, a father want to take his son to get his first haircut. A real father. If I had a son, another man take him to get his haircut, we got to fight. If I had a son, I want to take my son to catch his first fish. I want to be there to see him do it. As a father, I want to teach him how to drive a car. So that was disrespect. But, you know, what's crazy is that Rick Ross, he had the right to do that when 50 Cent was taking pictures and stuff and shooting videos with his son. I think 50 Cent got in a lawsuit or something like that for doing that at Floyd Mayweather's house. But, you know, another thing, he said his mom was on Star Island creating content. Star Island, we all know that Diddy live in Star Island. She was over there getting the money. But ladies, I want to ask, like, is that something that, you know, as a mother, is that something that y'all would want to be known for? Because she's being disrespected by, they're going to use that against 50 Cent forever now. That he was settled down and created life with one of you hoes out here in the street. But, you know, even though she's being mentioned in all of this, it's 50 Cent's fault because he wifed her. He created life with her, and everybody else is just using her as a semen receptacle. It's all nasty work, man. Like I said at the top of the podcast, man, this is a fractured culture. Nobody has morals and integrity no more. Everybody is divided and trying to be able to create content based around some foolishness, man, to get views and likes. Folks are talking about each other. Everybody is being dysfunctional with each other to get views and likes. Now we about to switch the conversation again. I want to, you know, take my time with this conversation because this is interesting. I'm a person who has been creating hip hop since 2003, and I have a multitude of albums myself. I prioritize lyricism and being able to convey a message from an experience that I had. So if I had a street experience, I want to be able to convey the message from the street. If I had a experience on a vacation, I want to be able to convey the message from that vacation on the beat. If I had a fun experience at a club or at doing something with a family member or, you know, taking a trip or on a flight, I want to be able to convey that message. If I learned something, I want to be able to convey that message through raps. So I was listening to a podcast, Sway's Universe. I think it's Shade 45, a radio show, really not a podcast. I call everything podcast now, though. But Will.I.Am was on the podcast. And Will.I.Am, he spoke about Jay-Z and Black Thought. And I'm looking forward to something from Black Thought also because it has been announced that on Nas' album, we're going to get a song from Nas, Kendrick Lamar, and Black Thought. Those are 3 of some of the top lyricists and message conveyors ever to rap. But Will.I.Am, you know, from the Black Eyed Peas, he was on Sway's Universe and he had this to say, and it's super viral.
Black Thought is like, damn, that nigga's the
Facts.
he's the dopest.
Say it.
Say it. That dude's the dopest to ever like. And Black Thought is 1 trillion times better than Jay-Z.
Okay. Why you say that? 1 trillion?
Trillion.
Okay. What's your logic behind that?
In my mind's eye, there's a battle that's going to happen, or it already happened in my mind. And seeing Black Thought, what he's capable of, just off the top. And yeah, Jay's off the top is dope too. And Jay's dope. Don't get me wrong.
No,
but Jay's already said everything that he's just regurgitating everything he's already said, including other rappers.
Mm-hmm.
When everything that Black Thought comes up with is like, wait, I never heard that one. Wow, you split that word up like that? Damn, like and that's just my that's just me. Yeah. Now there's a lot of people that be like, what the fuck you know about hip hop, Will.I.Am? I don't give a fuck what you think. I just know what I think and what I in my head, Black Thought, because we like top 5 MCs. It's always Biggie, Tupac, Nas, Jay. I'm like, KRS, Rakim, Big Daddy Kane, KRS, Nas, Black Thought.
That's a nice
Top 5.
Yeah, that's a nice 5. That's a nice top 5.
And yes, Jay-Z's awesome. I'm not taking away from his brilliance. I just don't think he's better than Black Thought.
And that's your mind's eye. Yeah. That's fair enough.
And I'd like to see a battle. I like to see them niggas battle. And if they don't want to battle in person, someone is going to get an AI simulator that takes all their body of work and all their concerts and flows, and you'll see exactly who's doper.
Let me tell you something, Will.I.Am. You know, they're not going to battle in person, and the culture shouldn't value a AI battle. Like, it should hold some weight because AI created a simulation of them battling. I don't like what Timberland is doing with artificial intelligence. It's artificial, it's not real. Like, we need to quit validating artificial intelligence to try to get some money from it or try to view it as if somebody is better than the other person. One thing I want to acknowledge on this before I get into my talking points is that, you know, if we want to evolve our people in totality, going back to the top of the podcast when I played that clip from Joey Badass and on $1 Million Worth of Game talking about it's enough space for all of us. Competing and comparing is getting lame, man. You know, I don't want to compete with you. I want to see you win. Some things I might have to kick your ass in or whatever though, but I'm not going to do it maliciously and feel like I'm just a better person or individual than you. But competing and comparing is lame. I don't like the comparisons of Jay-Z and Nas. They two different people. I don't like this comparison of Jay-Z and Black Thought because to me, I gotta, you know, view another person as lower than another person when I don't want to do that. I don't like comparing LeBron James and Michael Jordan. I just don't like it. You know, Michael Jordan played in a different era. He played a different position. He was a different style of a player, you know, than LeBron James. It's just different. Why we always comparing as black people, we always comparing each other. I don't hear white people comparing. You know, I don't hear other ethnicities comparing their goats or their greats. We got to stop that. That's just my opinion, competing and comparing. But he said, what he said though, it's some people that's watching my podcast that may not even know who Black Thought is. I'm in the South, And not trying to minimize people in the South that they don't know they hip hop, but Black Thought is a rapper from the roots. I don't know too many people that's bumping the roots down here. Not too many people. I know a few. I know people that's hip hop historians and that love hip hop that know who Black Thought is, but 1,000,000,000 times better than Jay-Z. It's blasphemous. It's blasphemous, Will.I.Am. And you are a platinum Grammy Award winning great artist, but you know, I really wasn't a fan of that shit you was creating, but it's just that's blasphemous to say that he's 1,000,000,000 times better than him. And then another thing that was blasphemous, even though you try to give him credit, you know, towards the end, say that I'm not trying to knock Jay-Z because he's nice too, though. And in our reality, Black Thought being better than Jay-Z is your personal preference. It's your personal preference. But where the disrespect came in that I know as an artist, I would have took this as disrespect, and I don't know how Jay-Z takes it, but regurgitating raps, Jay-Z ain't that type of guy. When you look at the song he did with Nas on DJ Khaled album, that was some of the best raps ever. You know, when you look at that long verse that he did on another DJ Khaled album, and it was just him by himself, that was some of the best raps ever. And he was talking about investing and finances and speaking to black people about what could be done to be financially stable. The 444 album, it was a totally different Jay-Z. The album of Jay Electronica, I felt like it was Jay Electronica times Jay-Z, because Jay-Z on every song. I felt as if, you know, Jay-Z is trying to pivot and go a different direction with his bars. And they was great. It may not be what you gravitate to, though, but saying that he is just regurgitating things that already has been said was disrespectful. Now, let me talk about Black Thought for a minute. I have no problem with Will.I.Am saying that Black Thought is the greatest rapper of all times, because Black Thought is a phenomenal artist. The Roots is a phenomenal group. His solo contributions has been fire. Those freestyles that I've heard him on that came off the top of the dome is some of the best freestyles of all time. He's a hell of an artist, and I have no problem, and I'm not going to disrespect Black Thought or nobody that say that Black Thought is the greatest ever, though. But the disrespect goes towards Will.I.Am for saying that Jay-Z regurgitates his raps and regurgitates other things that people said. And he's regurgitating things that has already been said. When I listen to him use Biggie's bars and use other individuals' bars, that is, to me, I do that. A whole bunch of artists do that. Drake does that. And people say that Drake is one of the top. I feel like when Jay-Z do it, that is, you know, showing appreciation for his brother, keeping his name alive, because him and Big was friends. I don't look at it as just regurgitating bars. It's implementing the bars to keep the song, you know, at a certain level. And I just don't view it as biting and stealing and swagger jacking. That's just my opinion, even though a lot of people do view it as that, though. And if y'all do, salute to y'all, though. But saying that he regurgitate bars and that Black Thought is 1,000,000,000 times better, that's disrespectful. Hey, man, we almost an hour into the episode. We got a few more topics of discussion that I'm going to discuss. We're about to get into the Gilbert Arenas conversation, because Gilbert Arenas is playing around. But before we do that, I want to play one of my songs. You know, I make good music also, my damn self. And we're going to come right back to the show after I play my record. This is off my last album, 5 PMs and Turks and Caicos. Let's get right to it.
I can't let the time pass me by. I just want to be with you. I can't let the time pass me
Cause nigga, what it do? Came up, got the bricks, now cop 'em by the deuce. Homes and cars, I'm internally scarred, I externally barred. I've been going so hard, $1 million is minimum. The killers, I'm sending them, I prevailed from hell. Didn't need no riddling. My rivals apologize, they know I'm the middleman. The head honcho, get to it pronto.
Check out that record, man. 5 p.m. in Turks and Caicos. It's on the channel, man. But we about to get into this conversation with Gilbert Arenas. He was just recently arrested. He has a multitude of charges. I'm going to read his charges and stuff, though, but he has been released. He went live on his channel, No Chill Gil, and he spoke about the charges. But what's interesting to me is when I seen him released, he was talking about snitching and he would have snitched. He was taking this shit for a joke. The feds arrested him for the charges. Now, he has a history of gambling. He has a history of catching charges, having guns and stuff in the practice facilities and all of that. And he's been taking his blessings for granted. What I notice about the NBA and people gambling nowadays is that you ain't appreciative, dog. You making millions. Now you want to finesse the system to make more millions. I don't know what to say about it. Like, niggas is just taking their opportunities for granted when people dream to be in these positions. But let's get into the clip with Gilbert Arenas on his platform talking about the arrest.
That's crazy. Man. But I'm back. I'm winning this chip. I'm winning this chip, chat. Hey, Sugar Man, I'm winning this chip. They can't do nothing. I'm winning. Had to hit the block on them. I hit the block on them. I wasted no time. Man. Woo. Hey, I'm going to tell y'all something, though. Listen. I'm gonna say this. The only thing I can talk about is this real quick. Listen, if you ever got a shit, you do that before you get arrested. I should have told, hey, hold on, man. Can I go back upstairs real quick, man? Come on, man. You trying to hold that shit for 9 hours, man? That's all I can think about. Oh, yeah. Oh, as soon as they put in, they got, oh, shit, I got a shit. Man. 9 hours. Damn. Just sitting there. Just stomach just bubbling. I didn't even know what they was talking about. I was just thinking about just hold it in, man. Just hold it in, man. The rest of it, I'm trying to tell you, I didn't care. Boy, just make sure, man, you get out of there. You don't want to. I ain't gonna lie to you. I've never really been like in jail, right? Like I need to make a formal complaint. Like there's a lot of things I can complain about. Like why is everything like metal? Like I can easily like kill myself with metal. Like it should be some cushions, right? Like have some rubber foam or something, right? I mean the seat too low. Like make the shit seat higher, just a little bit higher. There's a lot of code violations like. Code violation, like I should snitch on them because there's a lot of things that they're not doing correctly in there, right? Niggas gave me lunch and it was cereal. Like wait a minute, nigga, I don't need your lunch, nigga. I got filet mignon when I get back home. Really, you kick this bullshit. Who you think you got up in here? I'm not one of these regular po niggas. I got real food at the crib. I'm not gonna be here long. As soon as the court open up, they're gonna see my name, click, 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 and I'm out. Nigga, I'm so smooth. Paparazzi's waiting outside. And y'all see I'm free, they not that. Wrong place. We shook that. Wrong place. Fuck is wrong with y'all? Who did they think they arrested? They thought I was just regular. No.
You know, I heard a lot of I's, and they thought I and me, and his ego through the roof. He think this shit a game. Like, I put that around him. It was all good just a week ago because I don't even think he know the severity of the situation that he's in. A lot of these people be taking life for granted, man, and thinking that they can just do whatever they want to do. And you can. You know, God gave us free will. I did a whole show on that a couple of months ago. God gave us free will, but it's consequences to your freedom. It's consequences to your actions. And he's obviously doesn't take things seriously. He makes for good entertainment on his podcast, Gilbert Arenas, and he has Swaggy P and Kenyon Martin and a couple of other individuals on his show. And you know, Gilbert Arenas is a very entertaining individual, but that's just what he is, entertaining. He talk about I and me and my a lot, and his ego is through the ceiling, like I said. But this the feds, dog. He go to court September the 23rd, and he'll see how serious this is. But he already announced on his platform that he's willing to tell. Telling is something that's interesting. I'm going to talk about Queso's father in Jacksonville telling later on down the line in the podcast, though. But snitching is an interesting, it's just an interesting perspective in the world today, because I want to know, like, I want to think about who created that, who allowed that to happen. Snitching, being able to snitch to get away from a crime. And this is including Israeli mobsters. It's a lot of things I could say about this case, though, and this situation, but, you know, I want to remain reserved. I don't want to implement my thought processes and get me into a defamation of character lawsuit and speak maliciously towards Gilbert Arenas, but this is foolishness. Now, I want to read the AI overview. I was going to read the New York Times article of his charges, but I want to read the AI overview because I need to know specifically what he has been charged with. So we're about to get into that, and we're going to further the conversation. Let's go. So Gilbert Arenas has been charged with 1 count of conspiracy to operate an illegal gambling business, 1 count of operating an illegal gambling business, and 1 count of making false statements to federal investigators. These charges stem from his alleged involvement in running high-stakes poker games at his Econo, California mansion. So here is the breakdown of the charges. The gambling business charge: Arena is accused of conspiring to operate an illegal gambling business and actually operating one. This includes allegations that he rented out his mansion, provided gambling equipment, and collected rent in connection with the poker games, according to the incident. So the false statement charge: Arenas is charged with making false statements to federal investigators. He allegedly told investigators he was not involved in the gambling activities at his mansion, even though the indictment claims he was knowingly rented out for games, according to prosecutors. High-stakes poker games. The indictment details how the poker games included a rake, a fee taken from each pot, and that the organizers hired women to provide service like drinks, massages, and companionship to the players, taking a cut of their tips. Text messages. Prosecutors have cited text messages between Arenas and other defendants discussing the planning of the games, financial aspects, and even the design of poker tables bearing Arenas' name and image. Wow. So his previous legal issues. This is not Arenas' first run-in with the law related to gambling. In 2010, he was charged with illegal gun possession after bringing firearms into a Washington Wizards locker room during a card game dispute. Yeah, you know, I like to think before I speak, so sometimes I might be slow. I'm a country boy from the South. Uh, when I think about the feds, right? This ain't the police department, the sheriffs, or the state troopers, or the state bureau of investigation. This the feds. They got time. They take their time. They got information on everybody involved. They hit when it was the right time to hit. So by me knowing that, a lot of people might not know that that's what they do. Like, they got more time than you. They might take 5 years to come get you. But when they get you, they got the information. They got you right. You know you're done for. They got everything, the information that's needed to be able to charge you with this. So that's why I feel as if, Gilbert Arenas taking this as a joke is foolishness. It's lame. It's foolishness. And at the end of the day, when his court date hit, our reality will smack him in the face. We just read the charges, man. He lied. He rented a mansion out so people could gamble in the mansion. Man, this boy looking at 15 years minimum. But, he got beef with other individuals, and this is pertaining to the fractured culture conversation. This is pertaining to the competing and comparison. This is pertaining to celebrities, rappers, and hip-hop artists creating content and doing podcasts and stuff to speak maliciously on others. And, him and Shannon Sharpe has gotten involved in some foolishness, and the person that they beefing with had this to say about it.
Doing all that bipping and bapping, he a drunk, he a this, he a that, talking about my mama, my family. And I told people one thing. I said, this nigga is a stupid motherfucker. He gonna self-sabotage. He's a dummy. And look at this stupid motherfucker. Let me close this door. And today is like my motherfucking birthday. Y'all motherfuckers lucky I don't drink. Bitch, you said I was a drunk. I don't even drink. I don't even drink no more. I feel so good. It's like my motherfucking birthday, nigga. Shannon Sharpe, your thick tongue ass, fired. All the motherfuckers that talked about my mama's son, nigga. Shannon Sharpe, your thick tongue ass, fired. Goddamn Gil, you in the slammer. You got there, if you run your mouth, see, you facing about 15 years, 5 years on each charge, right? But your dumb ass was playing cards with the Israeli mob. So now you're going to have to make a decision. You can't snitch because your dumb ass say chill Gil, so you can't chill. So you gotta fight this one out. You gotta go for what you know. You can't snitch. So the feds gonna put pressure on your little bitch ass because they know you don't want to be up in themselves doing the little ditties. Take that. So your bitch ass can't tell on them Israelis. Them motherfuckers got so much money. Hey, I know what your bitch ass gonna do. You gonna tell and have that lady Millie or whatever her fine ass Melly. You gonna have her cranking up the car and shit. Melly, go out there and crank up the car, baby. Oh, punk ass. You ain't gonna stand on the front line and crank up the car you goddamn self, you punk. So listen here. We know you can't snitch. So you gonna be so for the next goddamn 15 years, boy. Goddamn. All that shit you were talking. Now you fucked up Swaggy P career the first time. Swaggy P could have been a better basketball player than you. You was a dumbass veteran and you fucked up Swaggy P career. Now you done fucked up Swaggy P's second career. Swaggy P is one of the funniest niggas on the show. He crazy. Almost got in a fight with Kenyon. Now ain't no more Swaggy P. Man done fucked up Swaggy P career again.
That's hilarious, man. Like, Kwame Brown, he has the right to speak on those individuals because people have been calling him one of the worst players out of college basketball. He was the #1 draft pick, calling him a bust. And Shannon Sharpe went on multiple platforms talking crazy about him. And when he seen the people who talked crazy about him downfall, he got on his platform and spoke about it himself. And, salute to Kwame Brown, man, for taking a stance and speaking on those individuals like that when those guys spoke bad on him. But, it's just a lot of foolishness and a lot of dysfunction going on in the culture. And to be honest with you, though, man, I wish Gilbert Arenas well, though, but sometimes people have to learn from their mistakes. You got to learn from your mistakes, dog. Even if it takes 15 years. This nigga 43. He close to my age. I'm 45. He 43. Ain't no way in my 40s am I committing crimes that's going to get me 15, 20 years, man. Real talk. And then be speaking egotistically like I'm better than somebody else, so ain't nothing going to happen to me. That's crazy, man. That's craziness. Hey, I want to know your thoughts in the comment section on that, though. Talk to me in the comment section, man. Let's further the discussion down there. I really appreciate y'all. We get ready to switch the topic, though. I got a couple of more conversations I want to bring up. But this one, I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina. This individual was like a great in Charlotte, North Carolina. Cam Newton. When I first moved here in 2016, he had the city piped up. All the way piped up. The city was lit. He had just took them to the Super Bowl, I think the year before that. And you know what he done in Alabama and Auburn should be celebrated because he was great down there in football. And he is a character. He from Atlanta. So, Atlanta people, they have a lot of culture to them. They have a lot of, character to them. A few people that I know in Atlanta, they are characters. And he's been getting into a lot of things lately. He just went on Johnny Manziel platform and spoke about their history from Auburn to Alabama. He spoke on Jalen Hurts, and it created a beef between him and Gillie the Kid, which I think that beef is dumb shit also. But it was wrong of him saying what he had to say about Jalen Hurts after Jalen Hurts just recently won the Super Bowl.
know everybody's going to get mad at this. Cam hating on Jalen Hurts. It's hard for me to grade Jalen Hurts with the talent that he has around him. Jalen Hurts is a great quarterback. But if we're talking about what they bring to the table holistically, it's hard to judge what Jalen Hurts can do when you're throwing to a guy like A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. When you have tight end skill set, you have a dominant defense, the best running back in the game. Download Madden and see how many stars is on the offensive side of Philly. Like you got King Henry, Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, those guys, that's cool. But when you're comparing, Lamar Jackson still shows you why he's an elite player. Josh Allen has to play elite in order for them to play. Lamar Jackson has to play at a high level for the Baltimore Ravens, even though that they have a dominant defense. Patrick Mahomes, he got a lot of talent. But boy, oh boy, you can't put no John Doe in Patrick Mahomes and think that they still gonna win the way they win it. I understand that. Jalen Hurts does not have to play elite for the Philadelphia Eagles to win. He has to play good, but he doesn't have to play elite. We're not asking you to win the game. We're just asking you not to lose it. When you ask that question, are we winning because of you, solely because of you, or is it the resources around you? So game changer, game manager, those are the things that you have to ask yourself. And those are the metrics that I'm going off of. It's like, bro, even when the tush push, you got 5 people pushing you, bro. You got a solid group around you, dog. And the man who Jalen Hurts is, bro, I respect him. I take my hat off to him. But just because he's a great guy, that don't mean I can't critique his game.
Cam got a point. You know, those Eagles beat my 49ers a couple of years ago. And when I seen that team, I don't want to say because it sounds like I'm owning them. I don't own the 49ers. It's just that that's a team that I've been supporting since 85 when they beat the Dolphins in the Super Bowl. I love the 49ers. That's just a squad that I support. But I'm not a fan of nothing. I don't own no team. But, I seen that team and they got a roster around them. They got hell of a receivers. They got a great offensive line. They got a great defensive line. The Kelsey brothers just recently retired and it seemed like they didn't lose a step. They got the best running back in football. They got a great coach, a great owner, a great everything. So he has a point, Cam Newton played for the Panthers. This is a team sport. I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina. I can't even pay. You couldn't even pay for me to want to go to a Panthers game. It's sad to say, me living here too, because I want to see the team win to help the city evolve, to help the city get lit and bring a financial structure here that help the finances grow, help people create more businesses and stuff with their talents. So Cam didn't have a team around him. He had a team that year he went to the Super Bowl, but they didn't have an offensive line, not like the Eagles. So he has a point, though. But the one thing that I disagree with that Cam said is that Jalen Hurts is not a top 10 quarterback just because he does have talent around him. One thing that a quarterback has to do to win, the game and win Super Bowls is not make turnovers, decision making, leadership. And that right there, your skill set don't matter if mentally you ain't making mistakes and you are making good decisions. Let me say that again. Athletically, you don't have to be the greatest if you're making good decisions and you're not making mistakes. That is a skill in itself. That's why the quarterback is the leader. I don't need you to throw 50 touchdowns. I don't need you to run 100 and 200 yards. I need you to not make mistakes and make good decisions. And Jalen Hurts was the best at that last year. That's why he's the Super Bowl winning quarterback, even though he had the talent around him. Now, one thing Cam Newton did in that Super Bowl, he made mistakes. He turned the ball over. He made bad decisions. He wanted to run instead of deciding to throw. This is not speaking bad about you, Cam. You're a champion in college. You're one of the greatest to ever win in college football. But in the pros, they might not have invested in you like they should have. And this is Charlotte. They don't got that type of money like how they do in Philadelphia, Los Angeles, New York, and all of that. If you would have went somewhere as Cam, you probably would have won a Super Bowl. You was a hell of a player. But your decision making was bad. And that's why you didn't last long in the league, because you was wanting to run instead of throw. You was fumbling the ball instead of holding on to the ball. Your decision making don't compare to Jalen Hurts. But Cam responded. So Gillie the kid, he had addressed that on his platform. I think he just went live on Instagram and started talking about it or whatever. And he addressed Cam Newton, and he was talking about how it's disrespectful. It was a whole bunch of people. Ryan Clark said it's disrespectful to not put Jalen Hurts in the top 10, to even be speaking like that on another black man anyway. It's nothing to even needed to be said. And I know why it was said. Because we're all in this space of creating content. We're all in this space of trying to get views and likes and monetize what we got going on. And by us doing that, people are speaking maliciously of others. People are getting caught up in lawsuits with other individuals because they're speaking negatively to be able to trigger the algorithm to push them to the forefront. Craziness.
So now we talking
good.
about the man that said the tight
We
jean
good.
wearing, bow tie
The moment
jersey
that we
wearing,
all been waiting for.
you know?
Hey, good day, Cam Newton. I seen you came at me because I said Jalen Hurts did what you couldn't do. That was win a Super Bowl.
Press pause right there. Let me make this abundantly clear. There will not be no playing with my name. Mm-hmm. There will not be no playing with my career. This is all entertainment here. You did it. Now it's time for me to do it. But what I'm going to do, I'm not going to speak in excessive verbiage or, describing you. I'm just going to speak facts. Keep playing the video and my point will be made.
All in your feelings. Man, shut your tight jean wearing ass up, man. You had on a jersey with a bow tie, you corny ass nigga. Get out of here, nigga. You will never be able to with Jalen Hurts, nigga. You super goofy, corny ass nigga. Get out of here, nigga.
Okay, right there. I know why you in your feelings, Gillie.
Why you in his feelings, Cam?
Was it the album comment?
That kind of struck a nerve.
Where I'm from, Gillie, we stab and we twist. I don't know how to be the bigger person. Wise words was told to me. They say, when you go low, hell, I go to hell. You dig what I'm saying? And that's where I'm about to go. So let's bring up your actual facts and your actual stats. Gillie, when I'm looking at your rap career, as people will know you to be, they know Cam as a football player, now hot podcaster, content creator. Gillie did not chart any solo singles on the Billboard Hot 100. Philadelphia didn't do no numbers? Dang. That's all right. Former member of Major Figures. All right. Bass rap group late 90s and early 2000s. Where was Cam? I was like in middle school. All right. Then there was this beef between you and Wheezy Baby. And there's so much to be said here. And we've known you to do a lot of things, but one thing that I ain't never known you to be or do, Gillie, you ain't never been great at nothing. But he has, though.
What?
The only great thing that Gillie does and has done, he's a great mascot.
Oh, man. You know, sometimes I don't even know why I cover these topics of discussion and this content because, you know, speaking maliciously of others and debating others, and when you disagree with them about something, though, I don't feel as if like what Gillie the Kid said was wrong, but him using the language of nigga and you know, saying nigga and you ain't this and you ain't that. He could have just left it with his sports acumen, but talking about his tight pants, talking about he wearing bow ties with a jersey and all of that, that gave Cam Newton the right to be able to respond. You could have just left it at the sports, Gillie, you know. And he came back at Cam after Cam said that and was talking about, you know, he ain't got no Super Bowls and stuff after the Eagles celebrated with him giving him a trophy.
Cam ain't never had one of these. Now I ain't going back and forth with you, nigga. Thank you, Jalen. Appreciate you, Jalen. Love you, Nick. Love you, Nick. Appreciate you, Jalen. Cam Newton never had one of these. I said Cam Newton never got one of these. Thank you, Jalen. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Jeffrey. Thank you, Dom. I'm not going back and forth for a line. Jalen do a lot of things wrong, but he...
You know, when I look at that video, is Gillie doing too much, though? Like, when y'all listen to that and hear him speak. Because a fan is an abbreviation for a fanatic. Is he acting like a fanatic? And is it okay to be a fanatic? Y'all help me out, because I really ain't a fan of nothing and nobody to where I'm going to be. A fanatic is a person that acts out of character for something that they have no attachment to. You know, you may have lived in the city, but you didn't run the football. You didn't score a touchdown, and you speaking bad about another individual who actually ran the football and scored touchdowns and made it to a Super Bowl. You speaking bad about them to highlight your people. Even though Cam Newton said what he said about Jalen Hurts not being a top 10 player, he is saying he does speak positively about Jalen Hurts. And Jalen Hurts is obviously influenced by Cam Newton because they have the same number 1. So he was influenced by Cam Newton anyway. But, you know, at the end of the day, I want to close this out, and I want to know y'all thoughts also in the comment section about this. What do y'all think about this beef in totality, though? And one thing I want to do before I close it out, I want to read Johnny Manziel tweet, because Johnny Manziel tweeted Cam Newton. No, he tweeted Gillie the Kid. I apologize. A white boy. Y'all know who Johnny Manziel is. He was the quarterback who won the Heisman Trophy for Alabama. He was a phenomenal player at Alabama. I ain't even going to cap to you. But when he went to Cleveland, he was trash in the NFL. But he put the tweet out, and he had this to say. He said, "Yo, Gillie, you may be the biggest loser on the planet. Talking like you done anything on a football field. if I see you, just know I'm gonna slap the F out of you. Trust. Now, one thing that Johnny Manziel gotta realize though is that, come on, man, you a white guy, man. You talking about slapping niggas, street niggas from the hood at that. And he wasn't talking like he did nothing on the football field. He talking from a fan perspective. Even though I really don't want to defend Gillie, because Gillie spoke some blasphemous things towards Cam. I don't have a dog in the fight. At the end of the day, it's just that I feel like this is just a whole bunch of foolishness. All of these people are podcasters and content creators. Johnny Manziel seems like he put that post out there so he can get into the algorithm because he just recently created his own show. And Cam Newton was the first guest. $1 million worth of game. Gillie the Kid and Wallow, they doing their thing, and they the most established out of these three. But, everybody that's creating content is just doing things to continuously fund themselves, getting views on a daily basis. And they getting out of character, and they losing their integrity and their morals and stuff just so they can stay into the trajectory of the algorithm, the trending situation.
Come on, Johnny. Out of all the motherfuckers you can fuck with, Johnny, what the fuck would make you stop at me, man? Huh? What would make you stop at that bus stop and fuck with me, Johnny? I know what it was. I know exactly what it was. Ain't no secret. You had 8 ball of that shit, Johnny. I figured by now that shit would have wore off, right? Johnny, what the fuck would make you get up and just say, you gonna slap me? Out of all the motherfuckers on planet Earth, Johnny, you gonna slap me? Had to be this shit right here, Johnny. Because it ain't 1917 no more, Johnny. This is 2025. Niggas fight back, Johnny. The fuck make you think you just gonna slap a nigga and then what you just gonna do? You just gonna walk off about your business, Johnny. And just ain't nothing gonna happen, Johnny. No, we gonna have to put on a bet nap, Johnny, to over and under for how many fucking days you gonna lay in the hospital. And I'm taking 13 and a half days. I'm taking the fucking over, Johnny. Now let me tell you something, Johnny. I need you to check in the AA, Alcohol Anonymous, and I need you to check the fuck out of AAB, African American Business, Johnny. This shit ain't had nothing to do with you. Sit your dumb ass down somewhere. You hear me? Now, Cam said what he said about Jalen. I told Cam he did something you couldn't do in a Super Bowl. And then Cam, big, goofy, extra sensitive ass, started talking personal shit. So you and Cam could both sit y'all super goofy asses down some fucking where. Fucking cocaine Johnny and big fucking sensitive. You big sassy ass nigga. Sit your dumb ass down somewhere, nigga. I don't know what the fuck you got going on. But I told you niggas, neither one of y'all could fuck with Jalen. And then you talk about, I'm the biggest loser. You ain't did nothing on the football field. Neither did you, Johnny. You was in a fucking league for 2 weeks. They sent you to the fucking Australian Kangaroos. The fuck you, I think you did 2 years with the Lithuanian Bombers or some shit. Fuck is you talking about? You ain't did shit either. Get the fuck out of here, Johnny. Right.
Salute to all the content creators, man, doing y'all thing, man. On her selling yourself short for you to get views and likes, though. But one thing I want to address before I switch to the next topic is that Gillie the Kid is wrong in that statement because he started the malicious wordplay. Cam Newton damn near could have sued him for what he was talking about. And Gillie could have sued, Johnny Manziel for communicating threats. Because he was communicating threats talking about what he would do. If you get online and you communicate threats about what you're going to do with me or to me, man, I don't even want to tell you what I'm going to do. But I am. I'm going to get the law involved. And still put hands on you. For real talk. Because don't communicate threats to people online, man. It's just, you got to think smart. You can't be out here doing dumb shit, communicating threats on the internet. Or just stay off. If you can't conduct yourself in a professional manner. Real talk. Let's get on to the next conversation, man. I got 3 more conversations I want to talk about, but I want to address this, though. Queso in Jacksonville, Florida, one of the artists who spoke about crimes in his raps. His father, also the one that people are talking about, took the stand against his son. He was also a person who intertwined in street business. Jacksonville is a strange place. I recently went there in May. It's just a strange place. It's a lot of crime going on. I remember them boys did the song Who I Smoke. People beefing and just killing and talking about a lot of violence down there. And there's a lot of violence going on in Jacksonville. And when I seen this, I thought about, the current climate of street culture, gang activity, and hustlers and drug dealers and stuff. And it made me feel like, the culture in that area is dead. At one point in time, people was hustling because they couldn't find no way out or didn't know another way out. And they was trying to obtain finances so they could provide and create a better lifestyle for their family members. Now you have people doing it, competing and comparing against other individuals and wanting to be better than people, and they dying and killing each other and going to jail. So I know this young brother did a long time, and he's about to do a long time in prison, this Queso guy. And I don't feel like this will be the end of young individuals going to jail for these crimes and speaking about these things in their raps. And I feel as if it's going to be people take it to the next level. People urinating on people's graves. People trying to dig up people's graves. People talking about smoking on their ops and killing each other and stuff. I feel like people are going to try to take it farther and farther and farther and farther. And it's just, horrible in totality because the youth look up to these guys. Now, I seen a clip from Vlad TV that I'm about to play that is like 3 years old of something little Bootsy had to say about the father Queso.
Queso dad been like, he ain't no bitch ass nigga. Queso dad ain't no like, niggas know Queso dad in Duval. Like, nigga, like, you led him wrong too. You led him wrong. We gotta start blaming ourselves as parents. We led these fucking children wrong most of the time.
Yeah.
Bro, you make these people do their fucking job. You don't bend over and get fucked by these people. You make these people do their job. That's why they get hired. You don't do their job for them against your son. It doesn't go like that. I don't give a damn. If you murder somebody, it's not to be caught for murdering somebody, it's to get away. It's not to be caught. No matter how bad it's not for them to be caught. It's for you to get away. Well, and by telling your ass is not going to get away.
Okay, so his dad made a statement about this publicly.
I heard his statement. I won't write him in jail. So whoever watching this, send me that nigga address, man. I won't write him and talk to him. I want to make them people do their job. They're laughing at you over beer and shots right now. We're making that motherfucker turn on his own seed. He's turning on his own boy. Then they're going to kill his ass when he go back there and we let him out. You know what we're going to do? We're going to make him testify and let his ass out after and give him credit for time served and let Queso boy smoke his ass. 2 birds and 1 stone.
I have now seen the Boosie white racist impression.
2 birds and 1 stone, both of you.
First time in all the years.
I done got you to kill your son and let you out for his son's niggas to kill you. Now we're gonna try them for murder. 3 strikes, y'all. That's what the games they play against us.
I have no children before I speak. I don't know what it's like to raise a son, but I can speak from a uncle's perspective. I can speak from a friend's perspective. And I can speak from a cousin's perspective, a person to the people that I love. You know, one of the main things that made me remove myself from the game is that I would rather be the sacrifice. I told myself when I removed myself from the game that I would rather be broke for the rest of my life or just work a job and do what I have to do for the rest of my life than to transfer this street culture and me accepting this lifestyle and showing the youth that it's acceptable to pass it down from generation to generation to generation. From what I know about my family, I was the first and the last to participate in those activities. So with that being said, you know, the father passed down that generational mentality to his son and then told on his son. That's horrible. That's horrible. If you listening to this podcast right now or this episode right now and you participating in those activities and you got to look at your son, your cousin, your nephew, your great nephew, your niece, do you want to be able to pass down that street behavior that you participating in to them and they continue on with that lifestyle after you dead and gone? That's just horrible. That's horrible. And also, you know, to tell on somebody after you know what you have been involved in. One thing that people don't do that participate in these activities is think about the consequences. They only think about the benefits, the rewards, the attention. I feel like attention is the new crack. People want attention so bad they'll do anything to obtain it. And looking at this father in this situation with his son, it's just sick all the way around. I really can't just blame the father in totality because I don't know what his upbringing was like. I don't know what his father was doing. Could this be passed down? Could this trauma be transferable through the DNA and it constantly gets passed down and down and down and down? Because we see it. You know, crack babies smoke crack also. It's just crazy, man. It's a crazy world. And salute to Bootsy for speaking on that 3 years ago after this man just snitched on his son last week. That was 3 years old. But, you know, it was a lot of clips that I could have played from the trial. I could have played the son getting sentenced. I could have played when the father snitched, what he had to say. But what was most interesting to me was the reason why he did what he did.
Sitting here today, you realize that you are testifying against not only co-defendants, but family members.
Yes.
Why are you doing that?
I have a number of reasons.
What are they?
I got some health issues. I got 2 6-year-olds and an 8-year-old daughter. And, you know, when my 8-year-old daughter asked me when I'm going to come take her to the daddy-daughter dance.
Objection, hearsay, relevance.
Overruled.
You can answer.
When she asked me over each year when I'm going to come take her there, and I keep letting her down. Then my 6-year-old son, when he asked me if I'm going to come to his football games, come take him fishing. My other 6-year-old, he asked me when I'm going to come see him, when he begging me, please come see me, Daddy. He want to teach me how to play the game, but he don't know where I'm at. You know, things like that. My health issues.
What health issues do you have?
I have diabetic. I'm diabetic. I'm on high blood pressure. I suffer from congestive heart failure. I just found out June 25th that my kidneys is failing rapidly.
Has becoming a witness in this case negatively impacted your relationship with your entire family?
I really don't have no more relationship with my family, besides one person.
So a part of your family completely cut you out.
Yeah.
When people know that you're cooperating, does that make it easier or harder for you when you're incarcerated?
Well, it make it harder for me.
What about when you get out?
Extremely harder.
Is cooperating in this case something that is easy for you to do?
No, this is the most hardest decision I've had to make in my life.
The day that Charles McCormick was murdered, on January 15, 2020, does that specific day hold any significance for you and your family?
Yes.
And why is that date significant in your mind?
It's the date that my son got killed.
Who was your son that got killed?
Will.I.Am.
Is he your biological child?
No.
Do you still consider him to be your son?
Yes, I consider him to be my son.
Did Willie Addison have a nickname?
Yes.
What was that?
Lil Willie, Boss Goon.
I feel like being a father, you should protect your child, man. He lost a son. He gave the reasons why, because it's like he's sacrificing one son to be with the other sons. This is sick in totality. He has a multitude of kids. One died, one locked up. Now you have two kids. Like, me personally, I would have removed myself from that situation. I know it's hard, and I know a lot of other brothers is in the street right now, and it's hard to remove yourself because it's comfortable, and you are getting paid from that lifestyle or whatever though. But damn, having those kids and then going to court to testify, he gonna end up getting smoked if he go back to Jacksonville. Where else can he go though? But if I was him, I would never go. I wouldn't have did that in the first place. But I would never go back to Jacksonville because he might not last 2 to 4 months. Somebody see his face and can get some stripes off of murking him, he's a target. But it's just foul thinking about that as a father. And in closing to this, I want to hear from the fathers in the comment section. What's y'all thoughts about this? How has this impacted your life, seeing this? How does this make you feel, seeing a father take the stand on his son? His son is a criminal, but you raised the criminal. You were a criminal. You transferred that energy down to him. And now you sacrificing him. That's some gangster shit to be able to even do that. To me, I couldn't fathom that. Real talk. Let's switch up the topic, man. I got one more topic. And it's kind of hard to even do this topic after going from that topic of Queso father snitching on him and playing the clip from Bootsy and everything. But Ray J was on Cam Newton's show. We just got through talking about Cam Newton. He was on Cam Newton's show. And he was talking about a viral incident that happened with him and Kai Cenat and I Show Speed, them streaming boys or whatever though, that happened a couple of months ago. Now I'm gonna play the clip where Kai Cenat called him and questioned him about it, and then we're gonna get into the clip of what Ray J had to say about this on Cam Newton show.
But what you really be meaning by you trying? But why just in the clip saying you trying to take a shower with Kai Cenat and I Show Speed?
Bro, look, bro. They kept telling. Hold on, this I don't know. About the shower, me taking a shower with y'all.
Yeah, nigga.
With y'all. Right? So look, pause. Right? So look. So so y'all took showers together, right?
No, but we be separated with swimming trunks.
That's what I mean. That's what I don't understand. Y'all had sleepovers before, right?
Yeah, but not like that. Like.
Yeah, so no, I didn't mean it like anything. I meant it like how y'all meant it. I want to sleep over too. I want to sleep with y'all niggas too. That's how I meant it. Pause. I know that was a lot, but that's what I meant. It's like if y'all was in the.
What niggas on, man? Niggas wilding for this content type of behavior, man. They trying to get a reaction out of everybody. I want to sleep over. I want to take showers with niggas. Stop.
Hi, you diss Ray, y'all ain't invited to our shower stream. Just fucking, just on my side.
Shower stream?
Yeah, I'm doing a shower. Well, Kai got mad because I told Kai I want to take a shower with you and stream with you and ISO speed in the shower.
What?
Yeah, bro. I'm like, bro. I want to take a shower with y'all niggas too. They like, yo.
Hold on. What's your sexuality?
You just asked me about Amber.
I'm asking
I have shout out to the gay agency. I've shouted out to the gay agency. Actually, the gay agency's here. Dumpin' D, The Rod. They're the CEO.
Do you play both ways?
Come on, bro. I ain't never played both ways.
Okay.
I
I
ain't
think
never
that's
played
important
both
to mention because
Not really.
when you say you want to shower with another man,
Think about it like this. People's sexuality. Why? What does that matter?
it does not. That's
Then
what
why? Why ask the question?
Because it's just like the question that I asked in regards to you saying that you're not a brother.
No, not you.
Okay.
I'm talking about in general. Like, why ask the question of what actual whole are people enjoying? That's what we're asking. Because somebody could be an ear fucker. What is they're not gay and they're not straight. They like fucking ear holes. Who are they? A new name of hole fuckers. It's irrelevant, right? Not in your position, but I'm saying, when I say, like, what do you like to do when you leave the office and go home and close the door and you're in your world? And it is important for certain people to know. For me, I have a gay agency, and the agency takes care of everything LGBTQIA+, right? I'm proud of that.
You know, to close this podcast out, I ain't gonna beat around the bush and, try to, be in between pause or none of that old type shit. I'm gonna be specific and be honest. Sex was created to produce life. It wasn't created for pleasure. Both of them guys are participating in talking about what hole and this and what sexuality you is and all of that. They are both playing a role to just promote sex. I'm tired of it. Sex has been overly promoted. People are doing this and that, and he talking about ear fucking, trying to create some sort of new lane of sexuality, the LGBTQ community, gays and this and that, and sex is over promoted and it's actually demonic. It's a demon attached to people, sex and feelings and wanting to feel good because in real life you miserable and you ain't whole. Biblically, it's Sunday, so I can't be around here bullshitting with this topic. And I'm about to get up off of this thing, man. Thank y'all for tuning in to my show. Biblically, sex was created to produce life, not for pleasure. I'm done, man. Thank y'all for tuning in to my show. I appreciate y'all. Too much foolishness this week. Don't know if I'll be back next week. Make sure that y'all stay tapped into the channel because I'm going to do a reaction to the Futuristic Summer Show sometime soon. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Peace, love, plenty abundance. Make sure you go get you some money. And I'm gone. Jill.
If I'm a OG, right? And we all work different. And I see that young is that. I know that he's more in tune with the culture right now. Everything around the board. He got me beat everywhere around the board. That young gotta come take my job. I can't put that young in position to get me out the way, and now I'm running around, can't feed my family. I
think it's too much money out here for all of us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's only a certain amount of positions that's right there.
Now you're right.
What I'm saying.
You're right.
You feel what I'm saying?
You're right though. But at the same time, it's like, when are we going to shift from the individual mindset to the collective one? You know what I'm saying? Because what you just said is that go deeper than rap. That's just how we are as a culture, as people. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's all me and mine. And it's like, it's not enough of the collective idea of us. Like, where do we want to see this shit go in 20 years? Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, and even still, it's like, just because you share your light or you shine your light on somebody else who's coming up and who might be more hungry, that don't mean that you necessarily you compromise your position. You know what I mean? I think that's just been the historical approach.
The Trevor Jackson Podcast.